So obviously we are in the summertime, but the countdown is on. Everyone's talking, trying to find as much as possible how we could solve the issue. The questions that are being asked: are we going to have a sugar mass 49 this year? Of course, during COVID-19 pandemic, there's no right or wrong answer because so much has changed, but a new carnival chair has been named, none other than Miss Shannon Hawley. And she's sitting down here with us today, so we're going to get right into the nitty-gritty and try to dig her for as many of the unanswered questions as possible. So how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, ZIZ. My first interview.
Yes.
Of course, it had to be with...
Exclusive with us, of course.
Exactly, yes.
And congratulations,
Thank you
by
so
the
much.
way,
I appreciate
on being named yet again.
Thank you.
The chair. Okay, so let's just go right into that. This obviously is your second stint in this position. What does that feel like?
It actually feels like the first time. It was years ago when I was the Chair of Carnival, when I became the Chair of Carnival, the youngest Chair of Carnival and the first female chair. I know we always tend to make a huge deal when it is to do with a female achieving responsibilities and leadership in a exactly. So it was years ago. I was much younger, much more inexperienced. So I've learned a lot over the years, and so it feels brand new, and it feels good to be able to contribute to Carnival, to the preservation of Carnival, to the Carnival experience, to improving the Carnival experience, growing on the Carnival experience, and looking forward to seeing where we can move to over the next few years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so many persons, of course, when you were named, when the information was shared, many persons have been saying on social media, this might be a good thing, this might be a bad thing, we don't know, but everything is a toss-up in the air. What can you say you can add to what has already been a successful carnival?
Yeah, well, I think definitely it's not only about me. Yes, I am in a leadership position, but I think that I am only as strong as my team. And when I say my team, I include stakeholders, because there can absolutely be no successful carnival without participation and inclusion of stakeholders. And when I say stakeholders, I mean everyone from service providers to event promoters, volunteers on the carnival committee, sponsors. So it's not about me, but it's about working together with sponsors, building on the past carnival experience, looking at regional, international carnivals, and seeing where we can improve our product. So that is what my role in this leadership position will bring. It will bring working very closely with the carnival stakeholders to ensure that we can successfully build on the product that we have had to date.
Okay, so I mean, since you've done this before, do you have any plans already in the works? Any ideas that you think might help to improve?
Well, I absolutely do, but I'm not going to share them with you. No, I mean,
I tried my best, guys.
We haven't even met as a committee as yet. We haven't met with stakeholders as yet. And again, people who have been involved in Carnival over the past, let's say 5 years, they have so many ideas, so many brilliant ideas. And I think we first need to meet with stakeholders, meet with the Carnival committee, meet with sponsors, understand what the public wants. And of course, we can't implement everything, but then that is where we start. So of course, yes, I have ideas and I have plans. However, we need to ensure that everyone is happy, and of course, we can't make everybody happy, but there must be some compromise. So I think it's too early to say my plans, other than the intention is to move Carnival to bigger, better product, international product. Of course, it may not happen this year because of the restrictions as it relates to COVID, but the intention is to move Carnival to a bigger, better product.
Okay, so speaking of restrictions, obviously COVID-19 has just affected the entire globe
Yes.
in every way possible, whether it was socially, economically. So can you tell me, what can you or your team tell the people, for those who've been asking, how are we going to, is this even possible for us to have this, during the pandemic? What do you say to those people?
Well, the decision regarding Carnival and its direction will ultimately be made by the Minister of Culture.
That's the Honorable General
Honorable
Powell.
General Powell.
Right.
However, what I can say is that yesterday we had our first meeting with the NEOC. We know that, individuals are yearning for recreation. We know that individuals, you look at the strip on a Friday night for the past 2 Fridays, you realize that individuals are desperate. It's about our mental health.
Yes, it's true.
Right? It's about our mental health. And I think that we met with the NAOC and we brainstormed and the discussions were fruitful and there is hope. There is hope. But of course, in this time of the pandemic, it would not be business as usual. So we have to now come up with creative ways, innovative ways of maybe not a full-scale carnival per se, but I think when I say we, I mean the stakeholders, and the stakeholders will be hearing from us soon. We have to come up with innovative ways in which we can hopefully host a carnival, make it just as enjoyable and exciting as it has been in the past years. But, of course, taking into consideration the restrictions as it relates to COVID. The social distancing, physical distancing, ensuring sanitization, etc.
Right.
Now, some people might say, how on earth are we going to do this when Carnival is about fete, splendor, jamming, close? But I don't think it's impossible. As I said, it's about coming up with innovative, creative ways to have fun and do it in a safe environment. So the plan is that we will continue our discussions with the NEOC. Then the NEOC will then make a presentation to Cabinet and the Minister of Culture, and then the Minister of Culture, along with Cabinet, will make a decision as to the way forward with Carnival. But as I said, it's about our mental health, and we are yearning for the recreation. And people, we miss Music Festival. It's been nearly 6 months, 4 months since this whole
everything
shutdown has started. We have 6 months to go to Carnival. We don't know where the 6 months will lead us. However, we have to make the necessary arrangements to, whether it's going to be virtual, whether it's going to be a carnival, whether it's going to be small scale, large scale, however it is, we have to take the nation's health first and foremost.
Of course, most definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to just go back. So earlier we were talking about you making history as the first female. That was back in 2011.
Yes.
And now here you are again.
Yes.
But in addition to that, we have another female, that would be Miss Hazel Webster, who was also announced the Carnival Director.
Yes.
Okay, so obviously it looks like there's this underlying theme here. There's something happening. Women are taking over.
Well, it's not only about Hazel as the Executive Director, but it's also about Mrs. Marissa Hobson Newman, who has been the Deputy Chair for the past 5 years and will now remain as the Deputy Chair. So we have myself, we have Marissa as Deputy, and then we have Hazel from an administrative point of view as the Executive Director. So you have the 3 individuals in the top leadership positions in this upcoming carnival as women. So let that sink in. Let's let that sink in for a second. But it is something that I think it's fantastic. A few weeks ago I had an interview on a radio program, and And I was asked the question, would you, if asked, ever become the chair of Carnival again? And I said, absolutely no, not. I said, nobody can convince me that to take on that position because of the amount of work involved, and I have experienced it, etc. However, in discussions with the minister, and I realized that we were on the same page, and he pledged his 150% support, and he also said, Shannon, however you see it, I will support you. So if I will support your team, I will work to ensure that your team is supported from ministerial level, and he gave me that confidence, and I said to myself at that point, I said, we as women, we need to stop sidelining ourselves. We need to keep our hands up. We need to stop saying, oh, I can't do it, I'm gonna look on from the sidelines, so it's too much work and too much responsibility, because I hardly ever see a man doing that. You would hear a man saying, before it is even considered, you would hear a man putting it out there, I want to be the chair of Carnival, or I want to be the responsible for this or that. But you seldom hear a woman saying it. And when you hear a woman saying it, the woman she either aggressive, arrogant, she's full of herself, she's a this, she's a that, who she thinks. And we need to stop it, and we need to start supporting women, and we need to be confident enough as women to stop doubting ourselves. So when I said it, and I had a discussion with the minister, I said, yes, I am going to do it, because I'm not going to sit back and complain about what could happen in Carnival and what I think could change and not make a difference. And you're seeing it so much more now even in politics. You're looking around, you're seeing so many women breaking barriers, etc.
That's true.
And I think it is comforting knowing that women continue now to keep their hands up, be recognized by institutions more, and not be overlooked. So yes, we have women in the top leadership positions in Carnival right now, and I want it to be seen, like that throughout. So it doesn't have to be women in the minority. It could be women just the same as men, in the specific jobs, specific leadership positions. So that is where I would like to see it moving forward, even for young people. Stop doubting and self-doubting yourself as young women. Have some, confidence in your, work, in your responsibilities, and in order to be able to promote yourself, and, ignore the noise.
Yes.
Ignore the noise, because if you're doing something right, there will be noise. Not everybody will agree with you. Not everybody will agree. If your role is to please everyone, then you're not doing a good job.
That's
right. Some people will disagree, and that's fine. So I think that it's important, and I think this is historic. And I, again, thank the Honorable Minister, Jonelle Powell, for seeing that vision and not having to look at whether a woman would do a better job than a man, but looking at the actual quality of the individual and, seeing where we move forward.
Okay. So I just wanted to just go back quickly there to something that you said, for those people who might be doubting or still feeling like, boy, it's looking like Carnival is still a toss-up, it's still in the air. I don't think there's anything wrong with jamming in a hazmat suit. So, I mean, can we expect those kinds of things going forward?
Well, I think that based on the initial discussion that we've had with the NEOC, it has been very positive.
Okay.
We are innovative people, and we want to show the world that even though you may not have had a carnival, we have thought about all of the innovative ways where we could have a carnival. Some of it may be virtual, some of it may be physical, but I do not see that there's anything stopping us from having, whether it's small, a large scale, whether that form of recreation during December. As I said, it would be, of course, I'm sure the borders are going to open up at some point.
Hopefully by that
You know,
time.
right now we're in our bubble. I would hope that once the borders reopen, it would remain that way. However, based on what we've seen around the region, it is very difficult. It will be very difficult. So, you know, whatever the health authorities say, of course, we would comply with. But at the same time, you know, we are going to put together a package that we will be able to present to the NEOC, that we leave no stone unturned, and that we ensure that every function under the control of the National Carnival Committee takes into consideration all of the protocols established by the NEOC. And not only the functions under the Carnival Committee's control, but any function period that is to be held during the National Carnival period takes into consideration these protocols. So it will be a lot of sensitization as it relates to, you know, public and the stakeholders, whether it's concessionaires, whether it's you know contestants, whatever category of stakeholder that somebody may represent.
Right.
As I said, I don't see anything stopping us. Of course, we know these are also very serious economic times, and the spend power in December
is limited.
It will be extremely limited. So all of these factors have to take into consideration. But at the same time, I think it is necessary for our mental health for there to be some form of recreational activity surrounding our national carnival for the nationals, for our nationals.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in other words, guys, just take it easy. I know you want to get out and jam and do your thing, but we have to consider our health first.
Health first. Health first. Secondly, finances, right? Because we know that people are suffering.
Of course.
Of course, there's so many people out of jobs. So health first, finances. So we need to come together to put together a package where we will satisfy the needs of different sectors, different segments of society. And I think that it is fairly easy to do once we come together as stakeholders and we hear the voices of the stakeholders. I think it will be pretty easy for us to do, to present that package to the NEOC, a comprehensive package, so that we know the way forward. But there's hope, and I would encourage us to keep hope alive, and within the next few weeks, a decision would be made as to the way forward with Carnival.
Okay, so we can expect an update, let's say by the end of July.
Absolutely, because if we, of course, the time is ticking, and right now we are actually behind time. Because if you look at previous years, you would have recruitment of pageant,
The contestants.
of contestants, etc., would have been ongoing already.
Right, and troops doing work.
Troops doing work from the back end. You know, you have all the costumes being designed. You know, these things have to be ordered way in advance from China, Miami, etc. But the state of the world, of course, we know, as I said before, it's not business as usual. Whether it's going to be a full mass, whether it's going to be a t-shirt mass, whether it's going to be no mass, virtual mass, all of these things have to be taken into consideration. But what I would like to encourage is I would like to encourage the event promoters, you know, the bar owners, everyone who has been intrinsically involved in Carnival over the past 5 years, to think outside of the box. Think of innovative ways that you can contribute to a Carnival 49 in Corona, in the time of Corona, because Corona is with us whether we like it or not, and it's something that we're going to have to learn to live with. So think about ways outside of the box that you think that you could contribute to this upcoming Carnival in 2020. Contribute to the Carnival's success. Don't leave it, and we won't leave it up to ourselves as a Carnival Committee. We don't know it all, and we will be reaching out to stakeholders over the next week. We want to hear from stakeholders. We want to hear what people have to say, because, you know, people, we are really innovative. And we want to set the tone, because other islands are looking at us. You know, Trinidad for 2021 February, they are looking at us to see how we handle the whole Carnival thing. So others are looking at us. So let us perfect it let us perfect having some form of carnival during COVID, so that we could set the stage, we could set the precedent for others to follow. And that is what the intention will be for 2020.
And I'm confident that the petition and the vision, of course, society could, of course, we could do that easily.
I think so. I think we have limited time, but I think we can do it. I mean, we've overcome
so much more. Exactly. We just got through an election.
Right now we're in our bubble.
Exactly.
We know that we're in a bubble because we're not open up. But as I said, once we open up, we know that the risk will increase, that we'll have a second wave. So we don't want absolutely to be irresponsible and to encourage, you know, individuals coming from overseas who have potential
to infect
others. That is not something that we want to promote at all. So as I said, but I don't think I think it's easy for us as Akitian people to overcome this challenge. And I think it's even easier for us to think about innovative ways to have some sort of festival or festivities during
this time,
yes.
under these circumstances.
Yes.
But I'm confident that we can do
I am
it.
too.
I am.
Too.
All right, I want to thank you so much for joining us and giving us
you,
all the deets.
Thank you. And of course, any further details, of course, you will be the first that I will reach out
Most
to.
definitely.
Yes.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Absolutely.
Starting with this exclusive.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for giving us your time.
Thank you very much as well.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.